everybody, it's Jeff again, and today we're going to talk about Zenon, Z3. Now, if you remember in the sequel, Raven wasn't in it, but that changes in Z3 because she's back as Nebula, but not in the way as you would think. We only see her talking through the Zap Pad to Zenon, so they're never actually together in a scene. But it's still cool that she can come back and play Nebula. I mean, we get to see Raven wear all those cool future clothes, just like in the first two, and everybody else in the movie. Speaking of the future, Z3 looks the most futuristic and best out of all the Zenon movies, and that makes sense since this movie did have a bigger budget, but it looks like they knew this would be the final one, so they just went all out. The clothes are all colorful and all the sets look even more futuristic. We even see a huge futuristic city in the background, and that just looks so cool. It makes me wish I've lived there. Alright, so let's get into the story. Zenon and all her new friends and other returning friends like Margie enter a pod racing tournament to Moonstock, which is a giant moon party on the moon. Remember Commander Plank and Aunt Judy? Well, they're married now, and they live on Earth, and they adopt their own child named Dasha. She's a big fan of Zenon and really happy to be part of the family. But the thing about Dasha is, she's not really that likable, but you don't really hate her. She's just kind of there. She's there throughout the whole movie with Zenon, so it's just like, okay, she's just like kind of like the little sister type in the movie, but it's like, it's not bad, but it's not really good, so for me it's kind of like, why'd they bring her in? But she doesn't really bother, so it's okay. So, the guy that's running Moonstock also wants to colonize the moon, meaning he wants to build his own city there and have people living, kind of like Earth, but it's going to be on the moon. That's where this guy comes in, Sage. He's against this guy trying to make the moon into a city, and he wants to try to stop him, so he asks Zenon to help him stop this guy that wants to build a city on the moon. That's when Zenon, Margie, which, well yeah, she returns back to this movie, and another new girl, Cassie, which is Nebula's cousin, all have the same dream about Selena, the moon goddess. And they all wake up and they say they all have the exact same dream and are in the same dream together, meeting Selena. When they finally meet Selena, they see like she's this girl with like green skin and she kind of has this bad attitude, and she says she wants everybody off the moon. She doesn't want all these people living on the moon or even setting foot on the moon because she wants to live in peace. You know, I kind of wish Selena was the main villain of the movie. I mean, she is, but we barely get to see her. She only comes in at the end of the movie and she's just saying, "Get off the moon." That's it. And then she does some powers like create a weather storm to make everybody leave. But I wish we could have saw more of her because she's a really cool villain. Instead it's just this guy that wants to colonize the moon. And to be honest, I don't even really think this guy's that bad. I mean, all he does is want to build a city on the moon, which when I think of it, that doesn't even sound bad at all. That would be actually really cool to actually have a city on the moon. Why not do that? I mean, I would want to live on the moon, wouldn't you? I mean, it's not even bad. They make it look like, oh, he's so bad, he wants to colonize the moon. Just because this one guy, and nobody else cares. It's just this one guy, he wants to keep it a historical landmark because it was the first moon landing. And they even mention the Neil Armstrong moon landing in here. So he's like, we have to keep it a historical landmark. And it's like, well, okay, I guess that's kind of, we should, but come on, the moon? That's not even bad idea. In the beginning of the movie, we see Zenon trying to get her pod racing license, and later on we see all these kids racing in space through the galaxy in pod racers. If they can allow teenagers to go flying in the galaxy just all crazy, living on the moon doesn't sound bad at all. It's funny how they get everybody off the moon when Selena's like telling everybody to leave. They get off through Protozoa's bus. Yeah, he's actually in this movie, but that's my biggest gripe with it, that he's in it, but he's not played by the same actor. It's a different guy, and what makes it worse, he's more unnecessary in here than he was in part 2. So I'm like, I have no idea why they brought him back. If they weren't going to get the original actor, they shouldn't even mention him. I mean, if they did bring him back, then it would be like, oh, that's cool, they brought him back. But he's even more pointless in Z3. Protozoa doesn't even do a new song in here. When they show him, he's playing the song The Galaxy Is Ours from part 2. So he doesn't even make a new song, and there's this other band everybody loves called Cosmic Blush, which I have to admit is pretty cool, but it just makes Protozoa even more unnecessary because they make that band sing a new song and he doesn't do anything. His only purpose in the movie was to get everybody off the moon. That's it. They even say in the movie he's like having a hard time because he's not popular anymore and nobody likes his music because he's so old now and his music is just yesterday's news and everyone's into Cosmic Blush now. Even Zenon's trying to get everyone back into his music, but no one really cares. So it's like, why would you do this? You just make Protozoa look worse? He's not even the same actor, and then you just make him say, oh, he's not cool anymore. But at the end of the movie, him saving everybody through his bus does make him play with Cosmic Blush with the song at the end of the movie. So it's kind of cool. They both play in the same concert together. So I guess that's kind of cool, but still. So they save everybody off the moon and then everybody celebrates. And I think Z3, Zenon, actually kisses the guy she likes. I think in the first two, I don't remember in the first one if she kissed Greg. In the second one, she didn't really do anything with anybody. But here, she actually kisses Sage. So I guess it's kind of a happy ending. And to be fair, I didn't see this movie when it premiered back in 2004. I liked the first two. But after watching it, just like maybe like a year ago, I still like it a lot. I mean, it does have its flaws. The one good thing about it is that it looks the most futuristic out of all the other Zenon movies. And another thing is, they didn't really use that much of those futuristic words they did in the first two. I mean, in the first two, they used those words like crazy. And here, it's kind of way more toned down. They say once in a while. Cetus Lapidus is only said once by Dasha. Nobody ever says it in this movie except her, and it's just that one time. So it's like, why'd they do that? I mean, that's what makes Zenon such a cool movie, those cool futuristic words. But it's still here, but kind of toned down. But I don't know, I wish they would have just amped it up more, because since this was the final in the trilogy. But Zenon C3 is still cool to watch, and I'm glad it's really good. I mean, it could have been a lot worse, but I'm glad this is all good trilogy that I can watch on and on and on. And I'm happy to say that Zenon is my favorite trilogy out of all the other Disney Channel movie trilogies. So that's all for the Zenon movies. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again in the future.